I'm Steve Shade with MoFi Electronics. We're here at the TAA high-end show in Taipei, Taiwan. And with Arc Audio, our distributor, David Xu and his family. We have the MoFi Electronics SourcePoint 10 speakers. We were lucky enough about 3 years ago, or 2.5, 3 years ago, to be able to work with Andrew Jones, the very famous designer in our industry, who had worked at KEF, Elac, TAD pioneer. We're lucky to say now that Andrew is with MoFi Electronics. And the first speaker that Andrew has been, that we launched last winter, or end of last year, was the SourcePoint 10 speaker. Andrew worked on this design for about 2 years at his MoFi studio in Beverly Hills, California. As you can see, it's a bit unique from design. We have a more maybe mid-century modern style cabinet from the 50s or 60s in terms of the aesthetic. And yet we have a very modern, multifaceted front to help eliminate any standing waves or any noise or distortion. You'll also notice that the front of the driver is actually set out from the edge of the cabinet to also eliminate any diffraction or noise. And then it's a design from the ground up from Andrew, 10-inch concentric driver. So we at MoFi, or Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, are very important to focus on the source. And for us, the source is the original master tape at our mastering studio, Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. So the original master, in this case, is analog. And for us to pay homage to that or pay respect to that, we would want the speaker to also have that same source or source point. And that's a very carefully selected name. But the 10-inch concentric new design from Andrew, it's very efficient, it's very open, very natural, very engaging, but it is physically quite big. So you can tell that the speaker itself is pretty large. In fact, a lot of our customers didn't realize that they were quite so big because in photos, it's hard to tell. But of course, with a 10-inch driver, you have to have a commensurate size cabinet. And you'll notice there's a gentle slope that comes back to keep any standing waves from happening internally. And then we have ported at the back, two ports. But surprising how fast this speaker has become well regarded in the industry, because we just launched at the Capital Audio Fest last November. And we've already exceeded our expectations in the first 8 months of sales. And working on getting warehouses closer to our customers, both in Europe and in Hong Kong for Asia. And then in April at the Expono show, we introduced for the first time the SourcePoint 8, which is a smaller version of the SourcePoint 10. Actually the same quality driver. It's the same tweeter, same driver engine, and then same cabinet design, just a little bit smaller, 80% the size of the SourcePoint 10. So usually speakers of this size would have a smaller driver, a 6.5-inch driver, but we're able to have the 8-inch in this size. And so we get a bigger sound, bigger dynamics, more open. We can drive a bigger room, even with a more modest speaker size. And then you'll notice the posts on the stands, the dedicated SourcePoint 8 stand is a three post. And then on the SourcePoint 10, we have a 4-post stand, which is fillable with sand or with cat litter, as Andrew likes to do. But sonically, we have a very engaging, very big sound, very dynamic, not unlike our turntables. The Ultra deck here playing the new Ultra Gold cartridge, moving coil. Mozart's always a good choice. And then introducing the new Master Phono. So working with talented designers such as Andrew Jones for the speakers, we're equally fortunate to have Peter Madnick designing our new Master Phono stage. It has both current source input as well as voltage input. In fact, it has 3 inputs. One current source, either XLR or RCA, and then 2, a second voltage input, both with single-ended and XLR. So a total of 3 inputs. And then you can see it's a bit unique with the meters, that actually, the meters are serve 2 purposes. One, you can see, obviously, as the music plays, it's tracking the music. But you can also use the meters to help aid in cartridge setup. And we're working on the instructions for that, which will get posted to the website. And then we've got real simply voltage. For the voltage input, you have the loading, a wide array of loading choices, all the way up to 47K, and then 4 gain selections from 40 dB all the way to 70 dB. The most striking thing about the Master Phono is if you look closely, you'll notice that there's a gap in between the front part of the unit and the back. And that air gap helps isolate all the noisy parts of the phono stage that we keep to the front, including the power supply, and the signal of the phono stage, which is at the back. So we essentially get 2 chassis, or 2 separate boxes in one chassis. Yeah. Not only saving cost, but allowing us to reach a much higher performance level. Yeah. We'll start shipping this this month. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.